I've been thinking that you could probably take any fairy tale, particularly ones written by the Brothers Grimm, deconstruct it just a little bit, not even to a forensic level, but just deconstruct it a small amount, and it will appear ridiculous.
Yeah, I imagine that to be true.
I mean, I can't imagine I'm alone in that thinking.
No.
There's bound to be loads of people. But the one that I was thinking about this week was Hansel and Gretel. And I think the key to realising why Hansel and Gretel is a ridiculous fairy tale is to first establish that the father character is basically an idiot. So the story of Hansel and Gretel, as I remember it, I mean, obviously there's hundreds of variations, but the way I remember it is as follows. There's this woodcutter and his two children, Hansel and Gretel, and he remarries. They live in like a log cabin next to a deep dark wood because the father is a lumberjack or a woodcutter or something. They're running a bit low on food. They're suffering from like a food recession, if you like. And so the mother goes, I know what I'll do. I'll take Hansel and Gretel, lead them into the forest, just leave them there. I'll come back and say, oh, I've lost the kids! Sorry, John, oh!
Would you believe it?
Yeah.
Would you believe it?
And then there'll be enough food for us, for me and John, for like a while. A bit longer. Yeah, well, twice as long as it would be if we had the kids. Anyway, Hansel, being the smart one, not got the intellect from his father, must have got it from his mother. He gets wind of what the evil stepmother is going to do. He gathers up all these white pebbles. And the next day, the stepmother, who we'll call Sue, goes, I say, John, I was thinking perhaps I'll take Hansel and Gretel into the forest. John says, oh, that's a good idea. Have a nice time. So he goes, all right, come on kids, off we go. She's leading Hansel and Gretel into the forest. And while she does so, Hansel is throwing down white pebbles so that they can find their way back. Anyway, Sue leads Hansel and Gretel deep into the forest, right into the centre, says, all right, bye kids! And she scampers off quickly. So long, losers! Gretel goes, oh, no, what have we done? Oh, man. Oh, now we're lost. Hansel goes, don't worry, Gretel, don't worry. I foresaw that this might happen. All we have to do is follow this trail of white pebbles that I've been following. It will take us right back to the log cabin. Anyway, Sue arrives back home. He goes, John dear, I'm home. John goes, hello dear, where are the children? And she goes, oh, the kids. Oh, of course. Hansel and Gretel. Oh, yeah. Well, they're gone forever. Let's just get on with our lives, you know. Let's not dwell on it too much.
The only thing to be done.
Yeah.
Only thing to be done.
John goes, you're probably right. You know, once a child's been lost for an hour, they're basically dead. Anyway, like a few hours later, who should arrive back at the log cabin but Hansel and Gretel? John goes, Hansel and Gretel, you're here. And Sue's like, oh, great. Oh, I'm so happy to see you again. Oh, man, how did that happen? So Sue realises what Hansel did. The next day, she locks Hansel and Gretel in their room, goes up to John and says, I say, John, happy as I am that Hansel and Gretel are back, how about to celebrate? We go back into the forest. and another trip into the forest. I mean, it worked so well last time. No problems last time. Let's do it again. And John, being the idiot that he is, goes, yeah, I see no problems with that. Let's do that. Have a nice time. So Hansel doesn't have time to collect his white pebbles. So Hansel doesn't have any white pebbles, but Sue gives him a big slice of bread. And so, I thought
there was a food shortage. What's she doing? She wants them dead anyway.
Yeah. What?
Rookie mistake.
Why doesn't she just kill them? That is cruel. Just leave them in the forest to starve. It's actually more humane to strangle them. So Hansel's got this thick slice of bread, and being the smart one that he is, he's dropping breadcrumbs as he goes, thinking, oh, this isn't ideal, but it will have to do. So they get into the centre of the forest again. So he goes, all right, kids, bye! And off she scampers! So long, losers! Gretel goes, oh! Again! not again! Oh, oh, what have we done, Hansel? Hansel goes, don't worry. I foresaw again that this might happen, so I've been leaving breadcrumbs as I go. All we have to do is follow the trail of breadcrumbs, we'll get home really quickly. Great, that's a great idea. Anyway, so they're following the breadcrumbs, but all of a sudden they realise that the trail of breadcrumbs has stopped, and they realise, oh no, some of the birds in the forest have been eating the breadcrumbs, now we're completely lost. So they're wandering around this forest. All of a sudden, they come across this house made of gingerbread. They knock on the door, and who should answer the door but an old witch? And she says, oh, hello, a couple of children. I could eat them. Because, you know, she's been hit hard by the food recession as well. So she thinks,
our house is made of gingerbread.
Yes! She is the last person who should be resorting to cannibalism. She has enough food to build a house. A fully working house out of food.
Maybe she hasn't got any savoury food. Or desserts. She's been craving some savoury.
So anyway, so this old witch who we'll call...
Brenda.
Brenda locks Hansel. Lovely German names, aren't they? Brenda, John and Sue. Anyway, Brenda locks Hansel in a cage. And she's giving him all this food because she's going to fatten him up and eat him. Hansel, being the good house guest that he is, doesn't refuse the food. Doesn't just not eat it. He's like, oh, well, if she's gone to... Why isn't she eating the food? Well, presumably she's chipping bits off the wall of her house and giving it to Hansel, all this gingerbread, and he's scoffing it all down. But, being the smart one that he is, having got his intellect from his mother, not his father, John's an idiot, he gets like a chicken bone, and because Brenda's a bit blind, every time that...
she's full on blind.
Full on blind,
I think I mean, if you're a bit blind, you'd realise that there's a fat child there.
Yeah, in your cage.
Yeah.
Full on blind. I mean, maybe Hansel is an idiot. If a blind woman can manage to cage you, an old blind woman can cage you, and you're a sprightly, like, 10-year-old or something. Anyway, the story doesn't go into exactly how Hansel was caged. So Hansel's in this cage, being politely eating all this food being given to him by Brenda. And meanwhile, Gretel has been forced to clean up the house, just because, you know, while she's there, make the most of it. After a certain amount of time, Brenda's like, okay, look, I can't take this anymore. I am starving. I keep feeling his finger, which is actually the chicken bone, and he's not getting any fatter. So I tell you what, in he goes anyway. That's it. I am cooking him. Gretel, light the oven. And then Gretel, she's smart as well. Gretel is smart as well, having got the intellect from her mother's side, not her father. John's an idiot. She goes, I think the oven's on. I'm not sure though. Brenda, could you check for me? Brenda, maybe she's an idiot as well. Look, it's clearly on, and she climbs inside the oven. Goes, look, it's boiling in here. I'm sweating like a horse. It's clearly on. And Gretel goes, ha! Fooled you, Brenda! Slams the oven door shut. Brenda dies a fiery, horrible death. Gretel releases Hansel and he waddles out of his cage. And
he's a sphere now.
He's especially a sphere. So I guess Gretel's rolling Hansel out of the house. And so they get out of the house and they're still in the forest, of course, but they wander around, and as luck would have it, they find the edge of a forest and they're able to find their way back to the log cabin, where they find their father, and Sue isn't there anymore. No. I think she left him. And so Hansel and Gretel, they go back to their father and they all live happily ever after, somehow. There's still a food recession. Hansel's probably going to get some kind of coronary problem because he's put on so much weight. Brenda burnt to death in a fire. Gretel's going to have to live with that guilt.
Emotionally disturbed, incredibly. Yeah. And they've probably got that thing
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome. And that's why I believe that the father from Hansel and Gretel, John, we call him, was a wally. A fool, an idiot.
Indeed.
Would you agree?
I do agree wholeheartedly.